Fuelzee. How's everybody doing? Super awesome to have all these kids here too. So we all buy gas, but there's one thing that we all think about it. Buying gas sucks. It's simply not a great experience. It's not something you enjoy to do. You don't wake up in the morning and go, yes, I get to buy gas. Nobody is excited to do it, right? So what we set out to do in Fuelzee is basically to make buying gas fun. So let me introduce you to Fuelzee. Fuelzee is a mobile app. We're on iOS and Android, but what we've done is we've gamified the fuel purchasing experience. So we have over 140,000 gas stations in our database, and what you do is next time you visit a gas station, you check in, you earn 25 points. If you report the gas prices, you get 50 points. Those points are then redeemable for rewards either at that gas station, local retailers, or additional brands. We even have them for digital brands online, such as Amazon.com. Now, to run through it really quick, as I said, Fuelzee is rewarding. So when you open up a gas station profile, the first thing that you're going to see is a list of all the rewards that station has available for you. Now, of course, on the bottom of the screen, you'll notice the check-in as well as the report. That's how you earn the points on the system. Now, this is really good for gas stations because we can drive the customer inside. I know that you might not know this, but gas does not have much profit. The margins are extremely, extremely low. And the reason why most convenience stores are in business is simply the fact that they get people to come inside the store and buy higher margin items. We help them do this by requiring a UPC barcode that has to be shown at the cashier. That's the only way you're able to get your discount. In a lot of different situations, this is really, really helpful because we have a great audience which is looking to purchase something within 1 hour. So all of our consumers are opening up the app, they're looking for a gas price so they can go buy gas. So we have an extremely, extremely targeted audience who's going to be making a purchase within the next hour. 66% of our users will make a purchase within an hour. Now out of those 66%, 25% of that 66 will either be persuaded to buy a new, an additional, or a different object because of the reward that they saw inside of the app. Now, Fuelzee highlights these brands as well in a different way than most other apps. A gas station can actually be promoted in our app as well. So you'll notice at the top here, the station is just a little bit green. This is a promoted listing. So this station might not be the closest, it might not be the cheapest, but that gas station paid to be the first station you see. So as a user, when you open up the app, you're going to be inclined to go to that location first. Now, how do you become part of the fastest growing app? Fastest growing fuel app. Now, I don't know if anybody in here owns a convenience store, but we had a big conference this past weekend where we talked to a ton of them, and this is a really great product for that. One of the first things most gas stations need to do is claim their station. This costs them $1 per month. Really, really low barrier to entry. What this does is it allows them to make sure all their information at their gas station is kept up to date, but it also prevents advertisers from advertising on their profile. If you are Starbucks, you want to sell coffee. If you're 7-Eleven, you want to sell coffee. So if Starbucks puts an ad on your station profile to get a discount on a cup of coffee, you're probably not going to go to 7-Eleven and get that cup of coffee. You're going to go to Starbucks. But if you claim your gas station for as low as $1 a month, Starbucks can't advertise on your profile. As well as you can create the featured rewards that we had talked about before. Now, earlier we had mentioned that these are done through UPC barcodes. We can do these in a very, very wide different range. We can do them in email, we can do them in UPC, QR code, and as well as text messages. So we have the flexibility to offer these on just about any type of platform. It doesn't have to be a gas station. You can be the restaurant next door to the gas station. That gas station gets 20,000 people that drive through it a day. You're the Olive Garden next door. Offer a discount on a free appetizer with the purchase of 2 entrees. We'll deliver the reward right through an email. That way the customer can come back to your location and be able to redeem it, and then also the restaurant gets more business too now. Now, the promoted station, of course, as I mentioned, is one of the big features that we really try to push. What we've learned is that 24% of the time, you're more likely to visit the station that's been promoted at the top. So it's definitely something that we recommend doing. It only costs the gas station $5 a month per location. So if you think about 7-Eleven, that has 6,000 locations, 6 times 5, it adds up really, really quickly. And there's 150,000 gas stations in the United States alone. Now, as we talked about the competitor rewards, this is also good for Starbucks, but it's also good for Hess. You visit 7-Eleven, there's a Hess across the street. Hess can put on there, get a free soda, just come across the street. 7-Eleven now just lost a customer. They can't afford to lose customers. So the competitor rewards are a really, really big thing for these brands. They have to compete because there's low margins and they need to get people inside the store. Now, of course, we have a pricing summary of everything we go over. We try to package the price as much as possible to make it easy to understand for these brands. But when you have gas station chains, 50% of all the gas stations are one-store owners. So a very, very small number of people that we can say, hey, it's only going to cost you $12 a month. But we also have to take into consideration brands like Hess Express, Wawa, Sheetz, all these big chains that own thousands of stores. So we create package pricing for them so that way they can get scale discounts. But I'm not going to go too much over these just because it goes over all our package pricing. But if you have any questions, of course, you can contact me on this slide. But that's all I got. I had a bit left over.
So Dan,
Yeah.
when I first used the app when it came out, I would put the gas price in it updated and show how quickly, how recently the price has been updated,
Yep.
things like that. Do the stations have the ability to, do they have any other kind of interface to update their own price?
Yeah, so some of the bigger chains do have a gas price API. One of the bigger brands we're working with right now is to get access to their API. It's good to have those updated prices all the time, but it also kind of defeats the purpose of the gamification. So we do stick them as much as possible to, hey, let's let the crowd be able to update these prices, but we do also want to make sure that we have the best pricing. So there is APIs, but just not for all stations.
Is there a limit to the number of promoted stations? I can imagine it loses its luster if you have a whole screen full of promoted stations.
Yeah, so in the short term right now, what we're actually focusing on is that we're just doing it as a $5 charge to have the station promoted.
Sure.
As we grow a little bit bigger into the company and get more competition, we're actually going to be opening up a bidding system, which will start at $5. So even if they are a promoted station, they can bid to be the first one you see, but if they're not the first one, their station would still appear green and they'll list you all the way going down. So there's still multiple levels of how they can be promoted.
Do you have a system, would they be considering promoting gas station based on zip codes or cities? Because say people look for a certain city and so that gas station is promoted just in that city.
So we have geo-targeting on everything. So what typically happens right now with a promoted station, it is the location within 5 miles of you. If that is a promoted station, it goes to the top. If it's outside of your distance of 5 miles, they will not appear in that list. Simply because the average consumer is not going to travel more than 5 miles to go get a promoted station. So we do limit it on that, but we can, of course, target it all the way down to the zip code. We can also target it down to about 100 yards from any specific location. So the geofencing on everything is really, really powerful. Yeah.
Speaking of geofencing, do you use geofencing to push promotions to people when they're
Push notifications, yeah. So we actually are building that feature out right now. So that way, if there's a feature reward, every time you open up the app, it automatically tells the phone, these are the geofence locations. So when you're driving by, it would say, hey, go get a free Slurpee at this 7-Eleven and so on and so forth. Melissa?
Is there a way to select so that I can only get information if I'm inside the app? Like what if I don't want to get all these emails and push notifications, things like that? I only want to see it if I'm opening the app.
Of course. So I mean, when you open up the app for the first time, it's going to ask you if you want to get push notifications. At that point, you can always turn it off. The emails only come to you when you actually claim a reward. And the reason why the emails come is because sometimes we can't redeem the reward through the actual app. So those you can't really turn off or you won't get the reward. But one of the things we do pay attention a lot to is the annoyance factor, right? I don't know if anybody else has an app that they're like, I'm deleting this app. It pushes way too many notifications. I don't care about you. I don't want to hear about it anymore. We don't want to be that app. So we really are focused on that, as well as the geofencing. We really are looking at how do we send this to the users that actually use it, make it so that we're not annoying people who really get bothered by it. Yeah?
Do you have any concern that if you have a gas station where, I'm not sure I completely understood, but if they scan the QR code there, or that it gives a benefit at the Starbucks across the street or another gas station, that they'll just tell their employees not to scan the code? Like how do you sort of prevent that?
So for the Starbucks example, that code would not be used at that gas station. That code would be used at Starbucks. So the only time that a gas station is going to scan a UPC barcode if it's for that actual station. So if it's for a separate location, we're either going to send the coupon through email or via text. So for an example with Starbucks, we typically would send that coupon or that reward right through an email. It wouldn't actually come through a UPC barcode.
But to get the coupon or reward, they'd have to scan their phone at some gas station.
No. So all the coupons are simply just listed on a gas station's profile. When you earn points from checking in and reporting prices, you can basically cash those points in and get access to a reward. So the gas station at the end of the day, we simply use them as a vehicle for our users to earn points because there's 220 million Americans that do it. So the gas station is simply a vehicle to gamify the model. Yeah? Depending on if they can. So it really depends on who creates a coupon. There's a lot of different logic that can be written on a coupon. So for an example, we only want to do 2 of these per station. We only want to do 50 of these total. A user can only claim this once every 72 hours, and the coupon expires on this date. It really depends on the merchant. They can really create all kinds of different logic. And I would say yes, most will end up expiring. Any more questions?
What is your biggest need right now?
My biggest need right now? Users. So everybody right now,
I
open up your
just
cell phone.
downloaded
Open up your cell phone, go to either Android Play Store, go to the iPhone Store or Apple Store, and just download the app. Check it out. It's really, really simple. It's probably the easiest fuel app to ever download. I mean, come on, who doesn't want free stuff? I mean, right? So I mean, you're going to visit a gas station anyway. I don't know if all of you drive yet, but trust me, when you're standing at the pump pumping your gas, there's nothing to do. You're just standing there. Open your phone, play with Fuelzee, it'll give you something better to do. Cool.
Before you leave, do you guys, and I'm targeting this primarily at the younger crowd a little bit, but I'm sure some of the adults as well. You used a couple words during your presentation. You talked about geofencing. You talked about specific targeting. Can you explain that just a little bit more so that way people have a better understanding?
So geofencing is primarily, it's more on Apple than it is on Android just because it works a little bit better. So what happens is it puts a geo coordinate and it says if this user passes this location within these set parameters, like this set distance, we'll then send an automatic push notification to the phone. So there's another app that does this really well. If you haven't heard of it, it's called iPotta, I-P-O-T-T-A. So if you pass the CVS at all, within 50 yards, it's going to send you a push notification to tell you to go inside and earn rewards at that location. So geofencing is all about selecting a coordinate, putting a fence around it, and then being able to get push notifications. You said one other one?
Geo-targeting.
Geo-targeting. So geo-targeting and geofencing are very similar. Geo-targeting is just saying, for us, is like this zip code or this location or these brands of locations within a certain region. So we're able to target down to a certain person. So that way we're not sending a Hess Express reward when there's no Hess Express even near you. Because it's just not a good user experience. It's just not going to be good on the end of the day. We have tons of segmentation. So I can know that you like Coke, you like Pepsi, you eat Frito-Lay, and that you don't drink soda at all. I know those things on my app once you start using it, so that way everything is specifically targeted to you. The app learns about you and then better targets you in the future. And I don't mean to point, but